Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and man, I'm excited to play this one. Been looking forward to it, and I got an early review copy. This is the Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So this is primarily a 2 to 4 player trick-taking game, and in my review in a week or so, I will talk more about the cooperative play. But it does have a solo mode as well, which is super cool because there's very few trick-taking games that do. So I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to play through 3 or 4 chapters. They tend to be pretty quick, and I want to show you some of the variety in characters and objectives that you get. By the way, quick note, you'll see that I have these cards sleeved. If you're curious what I'm using, I bought these. It is not like a promotion or anything. I use the Sleeve Kings one with this information there if you want to pause the video. And these are great because they fit into the box. All the things that are like randomized cards fit into the box with these sleeves. You'll see that it's pretty tight with these very thin sleeves that are very like cut off at the top of the card. I think if you used anything thicker or bigger, it would not fit. And I love the organization of this box. So I do recommend something like this if, like me, you find the cards bending a little bit more than you would like when you shuffle them a bunch. But yeah, how does this game work? It is a trick-taking game. You are following kind of regular conventions, and each chapter has some narrative. So here we've got Chapter 1. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11th birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. You flip it over, you get a chapter name, a long-expected party. You get which characters you have to use with some stars, and whether it's a short or long scenario. I think I'm going to be using a short for all of the ones we're going to play today. So we've got Frodo, Bilbo, Gandalf, and Pippin. And Frodo and Bilbo have these stars on them, which means they must be chosen by players. Now, in solo, you control 4 virtual hands. So I'm going to have 1 character per hand, so all 4 will be in use. But in later chapters and scenarios, you'll have a bunch of extra characters, and you won't use them all in a given play. Now let's look at a character. 2 important things for each one. You have your victory condition. So for Frodo, the ring bearer, it says you have to win 2 or more ring cards with 4 players, and we are using the 4-player version. It's also a 3-player version where he has to win more ring cards. Rings is one of the 5 suits in the game, so he has to win tricks containing at least 2 ring cards total. Bilbo, who is peculiar, has to win 3 or more tricks, so he just wants to get a bunch, and he has no special rule, whereas Frodo is the player that is randomly dealt the 1 ring card, and then other characters are going to have special little bonuses they get. So Pippin has to exchange with Frodo, Sam, or Merry. Since Sam and Merry won't be in the game, he will give a card to Frodo and then get a card back. That's what exchanging means. And he has to win the fewest tricks or tie for the fewest tricks. He's a fool of a took. And Gandalf, the Grey Wizard, has to win 1 or more tricks. Super easy. He's pretty much just here to help. And he gets to add the lost card to his hand. You'll see what that means in a second. And he gets to exchange with Frodo. And this is kind of the core idea of what makes this game different in terms of trick-taking, in that each player will be taking one of these characters, which will give them special bonuses and also give them their requirements. So it's kind of like a bit of a more thematic mishmash of the goal cards in the Crew or the Crew Deep Sea. All right, so I do take the top card of the deck, not counting the 1 of rings, and that is the lost card. So here, I'll just put it under the scenario. In this case, Gandalf will get it, but there are other characters that interact with it in other ways, or sometimes it's just taken out and nothing special happens. Okay, and then I'm going to deal out the cards. I'll just go ahead and give the 1 ring card to the first hand here. And we are dealing out 4 card hands. You know what? I'm not sure how to fit this on camera exactly the best yet, but we'll try this out. So as I deal, just to talk through the makeup of the cards, there are 4 main suits, mountains, shadow, forest, and... No, where's the last one? Mountain, shadow, forest. Oh, here it is, hill. Okay, so hill, mountain, forest, and shadow, and each of them goes from 1 to 8. And then you've got the ring suit, which goes from 1 to 5. So 32 cards in sort of the regular suits, 1 through 8 each, and then 5 extra ring cards, so a deck of 35, although we've taken 1 out for the lost card. Now, in a regular game, you would deal this out to all of the players, but in solo, you each only start with a hand of 4. And again, whoever gets the 1 ring is automatically Frodo. And now I'm going to pick characters for the other hands. So Bilbo has to win a bunch of tricks, which makes this one look super powerful, right? Although I guess the 6 loses to the 7 and the 8. But the 7 and 6 are the highest mountains on the board. Yeah, so I'm going to have this one be Bilbo. And in a cooperative game, we'd be picking these one at a time with no communication. Pippin wants to win fewer tricks, so this hand seems the best for that. So we'll give Gandalf this one with the really high. Well, actually, I guess we could give. Maybe we give Pippin that, because he's going to be able to duck really easily on a lot of things, because this hand has the highest hill one, it has the highest ring. As long as we don't lead Forest, and I control all the hands, that shouldn't be too hard. We should be somewhat safe. All right, so we've assigned all of our characters, and now we go to the next spot, clockwise from Frodo, and have them resolve their powers. So Pippin says he has to exchange with Frodo, Sam, or Merry. So let's go ahead and give Frodo his winning green, and give Pippin back the One of Hills. Frodo cannot give away the One Ring card. Okay, Bilbo has no special power. Gandalf gets the Lost card, so he'll actually have one more card than everybody else in the game. So at the end of the hand, he'll have one card remaining. And then he also has to exchange with Frodo. Frodo wants to win ring cards, so let's go ahead and give him the 5 of rings. And then Gandalf has to win at least one trick. That's not hard to accomplish, but let's give him the 8 of Forest. Okay, and then we're ready to play. And we're going to play with regular trick-taking rules. If you don't know how that works, one player, Frodo is always the starting player. One player will play a card to the trick. Each other player has to follow if possible, which means they play the same suit. And there is no trump in this. Well, there sort of is with the One Ring. We'll get to that in a second. But there is generally no trump suit with this. So, well, here, let me play something that Frodo would actually want to play. So let's say he plays the 4 of Mountains. Okay, Pippin has to follow with a mountain because he has one. He plays the 1 of Mountains. Bilbo has to follow with the 6 or 7. Doesn't really matter. He'll play the 7, and then Gandalf has to follow with the 2 or the 3. He'll play the 3. And once everyone has played a card, again, following if able, you see who played the highest value of the suit that was led. Okay, in this case, Mountains. So here, Bilbo played the highest mountain, his 7, so he gets the trick. That's 1 out of Bilbo's 3 tricks toward winning. And now he is in the lead, and he'll play the next card. Now, let's say he played something that people could not follow, like let's say he led with a 6 shadow. Gandalf has no shadow, so he can play whatever card he wants, but that card can never win the trick. Okay, so he's really just throwing off the card, although sometimes it'll be helpful for him to do so to give people other things to do. And then if it went around to Frodo and he played a ring, this is kind of like Hearts, for those who have played Hearts, where you have to break the heart suit before you can play it. When you have broken the ring suit, you flip the little token to its ring side, and that means you can now lead rings as a suit. Before somebody does that, you cannot lead rings unless your entire hand is rings and you have no other option. Now, I mentioned trump, which in some trick-taking games is a suit that beats all other suits. In this case, there's one sort of trump card, which is the One Ring. Anytime Frodo plays the One Ring into a trick, and he still has to follow the regular rules, so like here, because he doesn't have a shadow, he could play the One Ring, he could play out of suit. Anytime Frodo plays the One Ring into a trick, he can choose to auto-win or not. So he can choose to kind of score the trick regularly, which means Bilbo's 6 of shadow would win. Or he can, I guess, put on the ring, give into the dark powers, and then he wins the trick no matter what. Remember, his goal is to win 2 ring cards total. So that is something you could do. But here, with that example done, you kind of know all the rules. After each hand in solo, you deal everyone another card. So they always have 4 until you've gone through the entire deck, or in Gandalf's case, 5. Oh man, now I can't play that shadow to win. But Bilbo's mountain is still highest, and I want him to get his tricks quickly. So mountain. Frodo doesn't want to give away his rings, so he'll just do a 3 forest. And then Pippin doesn't have any mountains. His hills are safe because he has the 1 to protect him from the 8 because he doesn't want to win tricks, remember? So there we go. Bilbo's got his 2nd. And let's deal everybody another card. And this is, by the way, the big difference in solo versus other player counts. The fact that you don't know what your whole hand will be. You are adding cards after each play, which I guess makes up for the fact that I have absolute and complete control of every card and every play. All right, can Bilbo lock in his last win? I don't think he can. He doesn't have the highest shadow, doesn't have the highest forest. He can't lead rings. So for now, he'll just play a low forest. Gandalf does have to win 1 trick, so might as well get that out of the way. And Pippin might as well get rid of his highest card to still try to duck. Okay, so Gandalf has won his 1 trick. Whenever a character has won or completed their goal and it can't be messed up, you add a little star token to them to remind you that they are good. And once every character has definitely won, which can happen pretty quickly depending on the objective, you can actually stop playing the hand. You don't have to play out the entire hand if it's clear that you're good to go. So Bilbo needs 1 more trick. Frodo needs to win 2 rings total. Pippin just needs to keep ducking. All right, let's, I don't know, let's play out Shadow. So a 7 for Gandalf. Frodo's got to follow. Let's get rid of Pippin's higher one. Let's get rid of Bilbo's lower one. So that's 6 can win. So that's another trick for Gandalf, not that it earns him anything. And don't forget, Gandalf has a 5th card because of his power to take the lost card at the beginning. That's why he has more than everybody else. Okay, we only have one more set of cards to deal out to everybody, so we only have, I guess, 5 more hands to play. Oh, crud. All Gandalf has is hills and rings, and he can't lead the rings yet. All right, well, let's try to take care of that. So we'll do the 3 for Frodo. Pippin would still prefer to duck, although, man, his cards are getting high, aren't they? And let's have Bilbo actually break rings, because number 1, Frodo's winning, so that's one of the 2 he needs to win. And number 2, that'll give us a little bit more flexibility of which cards to play. All right, so Frodo's got one of his rings. He needs one more to be good. And here are the final cards for everybody. Pippin's high cards are a little scary. Although, if we just never play into mountains and hills, we should be fine. We need to get Bilbo to win one more. Frodo needs to win some more rings, but that's pretty much impossible not to happen. So actually, yeah, here, let's go ahead and have Frodo lead a shadow. And Bilbo will jump in there. And it doesn't really matter what Gandalf plays here. Okay, so Bilbo has got his 3rd trick. He's good to go. And then it's pretty easy to finish things up. Here, we'll just have Bilbo throw out a hill. Frodo doesn't have a hill, so he will trump with the 1 ring so that Pippin doesn't win it. So he will say he is winning that. That gives him his 2nd ring. So he's good to go. And then he can obviously win with the 5 of rings, and then the 2 of forest Pippin can't follow. So we are good to go. Pippin did not take more tricks than anybody else. He definitely had the fewest tricks or tied for it, and everybody else is done. So that was one chapter. That was kind of the basics of the game. You see how fast it goes. Let's play through again, maybe 2 and 3, 2, 3, and 4. We'll see how far we get. And the big things that are going to change are it's going to introduce new elements, like we'll get threat cards in a second. And there's even more stuff like special items and things. We won't get too much into that in this playthrough. So let's go right ahead to chapter 2. You ought to go quietly, and you ought to go soon, said Gandalf. 2 or 3 weeks had passed, and still Frodo made no signs of getting ready to go. I know, but it is difficult to do both, Frodo objected. That's my Frodo voice, apparently. If I just vanish like Bilbo, the tale will be all over the Shire in no time. All right, so Chapter 2, a little delay in the Shire. So this time we've got 5 characters, we won't use all of them, and Frodo, Sam, and Merry are mandatory. And then we'll have a choice between Gandalf and Pippin. So you see as more characters get added, there's kind of some strategy in which character you use and don't. This time we'll have the Black Riders, which don't do anything inherently on their own, but character powers and requirements will call for them. And again, this is a short scenario where we finish all the characters. Long chapters will have you play through multiple hands, multiple plays of the game, and you'll have to complete the chapter with every character that's involved or something like that. They have different requirements sometimes. All right, so we'll go ahead and give this player that card again. All right, here's our starting hands. So we already know that Frodo is going to this one. Okay, we've got Gandalf and Pippin again, winning 1 trick, winning the lowest. Sam is new, and he's the one who uses the threat cards in this scenario. Win a specific hill card based on the value of the threat card drawn. So when his turn in the order of resolving the little hammer icons resolves, he will take one of these cards randomly, so we won't know what until that part of the turn. And then it'll tell him, hey, Sam must win the trick that contains the 4 of hills, or the 3 of hills, or whatever. Doesn't have to be the card that he actually played, just has to be involved in a trick that he won. And then Merry has to win 1 or 2 tricks. He's got a stout heart, and he can exchange with Frodo, Sam, or Pippin. And Sam, after drawing his threat card, can also exchange with Frodo, Merry, or Pippin. And let's not forget, we've got Sam and Merry, usually in the early scenarios, the early chapters, as they introduce characters, they make them mandatory to kind of deal with them. So Pippin and Merry both want to win very few tricks. It makes it pretty dang tough to have both of them. So I'm almost certainly going to go for Gandalf, Merry, and Sam, unless something weird happens. So of these, often for Sam, it's good to have a high hill card so that he can just win right away. Because I see that the 1 and the 2, half of the threat cards are in play already. So him having the 7... is probably the best here. Oh, although that hand has the 8, but it also has the 2. And what do I do with that? But yeah, okay. Let's have this hand be Sam, with it having the highest hill cards. And then I want a weaker hand that's going to win only 1 or 2 tricks. Both of these are kind of middling. Well, let's see. If I give Gandalf to one of the hands, he can only exchange with Frodo, but Merry can exchange with Sam. So if I put him here, I can give Sam the 7 of hills as well. That seems pretty smart. So yeah, let's have Merry be here. That's all my required ones. And then out of Gandalf for Pippin. Clearly I'm going to go for Pippin just to keep my life a little easier. And we are good to go. So let's resolve their things. Frodo's got the 1 ring. Sam gets to see what his threat card is. And I like that being earlier in the player order. So he must win the 2 of hills, and then he can exchange with Frodo, Merry, or Pippin. And yeah, as planned, he'll go and get the high hill, and he'll actually give the 2 to Merry, because then it's going to be super easy for him to win it right away, whereas if he had it himself, it'd be harder for him to play it and win it. So that sets them up beautifully. Gandalf, oh, that's right, he gets the lost card. I forgot to even grab the lost card. So he's got another hill, just so many hills. And he's got to exchange with Frodo. So we don't actually have any rings. So I guess this is giving Frodo high values to win tricks once rings are involved will be good. And then Frodo can give him back, I guess, like 4 of shadow, sure. Then Merry does need to win 1 trick, so we shouldn't go, like, crazy. I'm not going to have him trade with Sam. I guess I'll have him trade with Frodo. Here, we can, like, do a little mountain swap. I don't know. Okay, and Frodo's first. The rings are not broken. Let's get right into it. So we want to play the hills for Sam pretty soon. We can't get any rings for Frodo anyway at the moment. So let's just go ahead and do the 1 shadow. Sam will follow with a 3, Gandalf with a 4, and Merry, let's get rid of this 5, because I don't want to win tricks I'm not planning on winning. Okay, so Gandalf wins that with the 4, which means his 1 required trick is done. He's so easy to fulfill. And he's in the lead. Okay, we've got the 5 of rings for Gandalf, 5 of hills for Merry, 4 forest, and okay, let's bring stuff back over. All right, so Gandalf's up. Let's take care of Sam's stuff. So let's play like the 4 of hills. Merry will throw out the 2 that we know Sam needs. Frodo doesn't matter too much. I just want to have like Merry covered. So let's get rid of this 3 of mountains. And Sam will go ahead and win with that. Okay, so he has taken the 2 of hills, which means he's done his task. So really all it's going to come down to is making sure Frodo gets rings, which with him having the 1 ring is not too difficult. So really if we just keep Merry from winning tricks, we should be totally fine. Oh, Sam won that one. So let's see. I see Gandalf does not have shadow or mountains. Ooh, and Frodo's got a mountain. So let's go ahead and lead mountain with Sam. Have Gandalf throw off a ring. And then Merry plays a 7. Frodo plays the 8. We can't forget that Merry has to win 1 trick, though. Okay, so that's 1 out of Frodo's 2 required rings. And he's already got the other one, obviously. Okay, let's go ahead and give Merry his 1 win. So 4, 7, 2, and 8. Okay, so Merry is good, as long as he doesn't go over, obviously. Yeah, and then the rest of this is going to be pretty straightforward. We just got to not let Merry win 2 more tricks, and we got to get Frodo a ring, but he's got the 1 ring, so it's basically impossible. Merry won that one. So we can just run through things quickly. Okay, Shadow 7. Frodo wins it with an 8. Sam's got a 6. Oh, and here we go. Gandalf can throw off a ring, so Frodo's already good. These early scenarios, pretty straightforward, although it's, of course, easier when you can see everything. Okay, so that was Frodo, and sorry, the rings are broken. You can just play a forest. Yeah, and we're just trying to get rid of random stuff at this time and keep Merry out of the lead, right? Okay, so Frodo wins that one. And that's all the cards. Can Merry possibly... I mean, here, he doesn't have a forest, and he could throw off his hill, and then somebody could lead a hill. Yeah, it's easy. We're easily going to be able to make sure Merry doesn't win anymore. So there we go. That was Chapter 2. All right, so here we go. Right into Chapter 3. Frodo sat down beside Sam and began to eat. "What is the plan for today?" asked Pippin. "To walk to Buckleberry." I forget what voice I had. "As quickly as possible," answered Frodo, and gave his attention to the food. They're like British urchins here. The ring sets out. We got Frodo, Farmer Maggot, Gildor Inglorion, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. So we have to use 3 of those, and we'll just get to choose our pick out of the remaining 3 hobbits. We have the threats. It's still a short one. Let's not forget this time, the lost card is a 3 mountain. And this time I don't think any of the characters actually can get it, so it doesn't matter very much. So, all right, so we've got Merry, Sam, and Pippin. We've seen all of them before. Remember, Merry and Pippin are both trying to win low numbers of tricks. Sam just wants to win the specific hill. Well, required, Farmer Maggot. Win 2 or more cards matching the rank of the threat card drawn during setup. So, like, let's say that he got a 3. He would have to win 2 3s in tricks. And note that he gets a threat card and Sam gets a different threat card if he's in the game, which means that they can never have the same value and kind of be fighting over the same cards. And then Gildor Inglorion can exchange with Frodo. Oh, sorry, Farmer Mag can exchange with Pippin or Merry. And he has to play a forest card in the final trick, but doesn't have to win the trick. So he just has to make sure he has a forest card, which is a little bit goofier in solo. And we might just want to, like, have him pick... Yeah, I mean, actually, here we go. Boom. Gildor's that one, because he's the only one that actually has 2 forest cards. So we can, like, guarantee even if we play forest once that he'll be fine. Who should be Farmer Maggot? Just say generally strong hand would be good, so let's try this one. That's probably the strongest of the leftover hands. This one's got a 5 ring that Frodo can probably trump in 1s and 3s. I'm thinking maybe Merry or Pippin. I guess Pippin just having to win the lowest number or tie for it should be pretty straightforward. So Sam and Merry are out. Frodo is leading, of course. And yeah, you'll see this time we don't have the lost card meaning anything. But Gildor gets to exchange with Frodo. Frodo doesn't have any forest to give him. So yeah, not necessarily much they need to really worry about or collaborate on. I guess I'll give him a higher card so Frodo can maybe win another ring with it. Okay, Farmer Maggot, this one's super important. Which value is he trying to get? He's trying to get 3s, and he can exchange, or he has to exchange with Pippin or Merry. So Pippin having a 3 is good. We definitely want to keep that. And him having the 8 is great. Gosh. I guess giving Farmer Maggot the 5 of rings might be good. And Merry can have a medium forest. Oh, that's too many forests, though, for him, maybe. Well, whatever. It'll be fine. Okay, then Pippin has to exchange with Frodo because Sam and Merry are not in the game. And he does have to win 1 trick. So maybe, I don't know. Let's do a little bit of that. Okay, and here we go. So we got a 3 forest and a 3 shadow. Let's try to feed those to Farmer Maggot when possible. Although he's got no way to play forest right now, but shadow's good. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So Frodo's going to play that. Gildor's got that. Farmer Maggot goes over top with the 8. And here's his first 3. Yay! All right, and he gets a 2 shadow. Well, that's not doing much for us, is it? He can't play the 4, the 5 hill to get Pippin's 3, because that just came out because Frodo would win. He can't break that yet. Well, playing the shadow won't hurt anybody too much. Let us throw off some things, maybe open up the ring suit. So Pippin has to follow. Oh, I guess we can't open rings up, can we? Frodo can try to throw off, I don't know, one of his higher hills to give Farmer Maggot a better chance of getting the card. Gildor does not want to ever get rid of forest, so we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so Maggot wins another one. Remember, Frodo just needs to win 2 rings. Gildor doesn't need to win anything. He just needs to keep forest cards. And Pippin only wants to win the fewest. Oh, I guess, which means I probably want to spread the tricks around a little bit. All right, well, crud. This is unfortunate. I have not broken rings, so I have to lead hills, which means the 3 has to go away. So that 3 forest is definitely worth a lot now. But Frodo has won a trick, evening things out a bit. All right, what do I do now? The 3 will be better as a throw-off. Ooh, that 5 of shadows is gold. If Farmer Maggot can get into the lead, or if somebody else can lead shadows into him, then Gildor can throw off the 3 with it. But otherwise, oh, here we go. We can just lead into him with hills. So we'll go boom, boom, boom. And let's have Pippin break rings, because it's annoying that we can't lead them. Okay, so that got Farmer Maggot another trick that he doesn't need. Well, the big thing is now he can lead shadows. Ooh, and he's got an even better shadow. Cool. So let's do the 5 shadow. Let's have Pippin. He does have to win 1 trick, doesn't he? So let's have him just throw off a forest. And then Frodo, he can play a lower card. And yeah, Gildor, he can give up 1 forest. So the only one who actually played shadow was Farmer Maggot. He's got his second 3, so he's good to go. And we're down to our last card. So Pippin needs to win a trick, and Gildor needs to play a forest, and Frodo needs to win some rings. So Pippin's got a lock with mountains. So let's have Farmer Maggot play a mountain. There we go. And now Gildor literally cannot help but successfully complete his mission. So all we got to figure out is Frodo getting the rings. But he's got the 1 ring, so here we go. Pippin will lead a ring. That should make it pretty easy. And then, yeah, Farmer Maggot can throw in the 5. But because it's the 1 ring, he can say it wins, and Frodo has gotten his stuff. And, yeah, then he will just play some forests, and Gildor will win them, and we're good to go. Yay, because Gildor played a forest in the final trick. All right, that brings us on to Chapter 4, and I might sound a little different, and the video feed might look slightly different because I actually recorded this one totally wrong. I forgot that the rule book very nicely has special rules and kind of explanations for each chapter, and some of them have special solos set up. In the case of this one, I have to give the character that gets Fatty more cards, and you'll see why that matters in a second, but let's read our flavor text. Here Fatty Bulger halted. "Goodbye, Frodo," he said. "I wish you were not going into the forest." What voice I'm doing? "I only hope you will not need rescuing before the day is out, but good luck to you today and every day. So it's Conspiracy in Crick Hollow. We've got Frodo, Fatty Bulger, and Merry are required. Whoops, I did that wrong. I said it was Sam. And then Sam and Pippin are options. And it's another short regular one. So let's talk about Fatty Bulger. He has to win exactly one trick. Ouch. And at the start, he has to give a card to each other character, but doesn't get any back. So he will play fewer tricks than the other characters. And that's where the special rules come in, where he's going to get 5 more cards, 9 total, then give one to each person, and he won't draw extra cards. I guess that also means that we'll have hands of 5 for the other characters, which should make things pretty simple. So I've got Frodo over here. Let's see, I've got some very high mountains over there, some reasonable hills over here, and then a very low kind of power hand over here. And since Pippin can only win the fewest tricks, and Merry can only win 1 or 2 tricks, and Fatty has to win exactly 1 trick, I've found in my plays of this one that Sam is the way better choice than Pippin when you're playing 4 players. I think you can see why, because that way Frodo and Sam can take a bunch of tricks, and Merry and Fatty just kind of pick up the extras. So yeah, if we did Pippin, what's the most we could get? So Fatty would get 1 trick. Pippin could tie for lowest with 1 trick. Merry could get 2 tricks. That'd be 4 out of like 10 or something, since the numbers change with Fatty not playing all of them. So Frodo would have to win 6 tricks. Yeah, that sounds like too many. Well, here, why don't I give Fatty the really powerful hand, because he can then give away his really powerful card to somebody else. Sam can have the hand that has the strong hills, and Merry can have this middling hand. We should be able to get him 1 trick somehow. All right, so Fatty's special power is first, so he's getting 5 more cards. Just tons of stuff, and he does have to win a single trick, and these are all the cards he'll ever have. So I guess I should leave him with the 8 mountain. But here, he can give the 5 of hills to Sam. He can give his highest ring, the 4 to Frodo. And I'm not sure if I have to worry about Merry winning his 1 trick. Well, let's give him the 5 shadow. It's kind of a medium value that might be good for us. Get out of here, Pippin. All right, what is Sam having to get? The 4 of hills. We have that, don't we? No, never mind. It's not out yet. Okay, and he can trade with either of them. Let's get him the 8 of hills, right? That's never a bad idea. And he can give Frodo, I don't know, the 4 shadow. Okay, then Merry also gets to trade with somebody. Here, let's get rid of his medium forest, because we can win with that shadow card pretty quickly. And all right, yeah, let's get Merry's first trick locked in. So we'll have Frodo play that. Fatty follows. Sam, I guess, just throw off a low hill. And Merry will get his 1 trick. So he's good to go. If he gets 1 more, it's okay. If he gets more than that, no. All right, and cool. Sam's got the 7 covered. That was not a bad deal. We still haven't seen the 4 hills, so we're just kind of biding our time. Merry can't play the 2 or he'd win it automatically, so I guess we'll go with the forest. So yeah, we'll play the 7. Fatty does need to win 1 trick, but we can get rid of the high mountain, and Sam comes in with that. All right. So we can give Fatty his mountain win, and then he can get out with the other mountains. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. So let's have Sam lead into him. Merry just has a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, but he's also got his 1 trick, so I don't care too much. We don't want to throw off a ring yet. All right, let's throw off his higher forest. Frodo's in the middle, and Fatty gets his 1 trick. Oh, and there's the 4 hills. Cool. Okay, so that'll be nice. All right, and Fatty's in the lead, and what do we want him to play? Oh, actually, now he can play a hill, can he? So 3, 6, 4, and I don't know. I guess this mountain, since Sam's already got mountains covered just in case. All right, so Sam won with 6. Oh, I forgot to do the lost card. Sorry, it's 7 to shadow. I was like, why do I have 1 extra? So we're getting 1 more card after this. We just got to get Frodo some rings and keep Merry from getting too many. Let's see. Frodo can win shadow or forest. So if I can get Merry in the lead. Oh, but if I get Merry in the lead, then that's putting us in some danger. I mean, I could also have Frodo trump with the 1 ring, and then he could force Sam to throw off the 5. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's play the 2 of mountains. Merry can go and put off a ring here. Frodo's trumping with the 1. And, oh, I guess Fatty does have to follow with the 3. So Frodo's got all of his. And that's the last of the cards. I assume things will be pretty easy to wrap up. Because, yeah, Sam and Frodo have all the highest cards, well, except for that 1 hill, but Sam's got the 8. Sure, we can do the 8 of shadow. Then, I don't know, 6 of forest, then 4 of forest, then 6 of... Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no way Merry's going to win even 1 trick, let alone 2, to kind of mess up his stuff. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. And yeah, with that revised play of Chapter 4, you'll never see the one that I did totally wrong. We'll stop there. Hopefully that gives you a bit of a taste of how solo works. Maybe not the best way to play the game, but definitely still pretty cool to see another solo trick taker. And I will have a review of the full experience with all the cooperative options, all the different player counts in a week or two. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Miles, Wayne Scott, Nick Skeen, Steve Wren, and Pedro Lucas. We'll see you at the next stop.